National Fire Radio.
Hey listeners, I just wanted to tell you about this amazing apparel brand I've been wearing for a few months now called Defend. The Defend Fire FX collection is made to provide protection and comfort even under the most extreme conditions. Their remarkable innovation in the product brings ease of wear and flame resistance in an incredibly lightweight base layer, providing you protection from the inside out. The Defend Fire FX product is extremely soft, providing 24-hour comfort. The shirts are even designed to stop those unpleasant odors we all encounter on the job. It also features a no-melt, no-drip technology that reduces heat stress and injury. If you're tired of wearing those uncomfortable, stinky, wet, 100% cotton garments, this is your new gear. Oh, and to the female firefighters listening, Defend has a specific line designed just for you. Okay, last plug. I not only wear Defend under my turnouts at work, I wear their fitness gear when I hit my workouts off the job. It's 24/7 apparel you can absolutely trust to get the job done. Plus, you look good in it and you feel good in it. So go to defendusa.com, that's DFNDUSA.com right now and use code THESIZEUP, all caps, to save yourself 20% on your purchase. Because there's nothing wrong with saving some cash, looking fly, feeling safe, and smelling fresh. Just a quick disclaimer before you start listening to this episode. My guests were having some Wi-Fi issues, so at times you're going to hear some of the audio not to the quality that we normally have here on the Size Up by National Fire Radio, but I don't want you to just give up on this episode because it is intermittent, and their message of just positivity and overcoming obstacles is so important and comes throughout the podcast. So just don't hit the pause button when you start to hear it messing up because it is very intermittent, and this is another great episode. So thanks for listening, and on to the show. There you guys go.
Hey!
What's up, Ty?
What's up?
What's up, man? It's been so long since we've seen each other, right?
Yep.
So my friends that are joining me today are, it's Kyla, which I've learned is Kayla without the A, and her amazing son, Ty. They are with an organization called We Are Superfit, and they are from Galax, Virginia. And I was fortunate enough to meet them, about 4 or 5 years now ago.
It has been, yeah.
I think, right? I got to go to Galax, Virginia, and participate. This is like the craziest story ever in my world of crazy stories. It rates up there. So get this one here, listeners. I got to go to Galax, Virginia, which is a smaller town, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in Southwest Virginia. Is that how you would describe it?
Correct. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Southwest Virginia, very different than New Brunswick, New Jersey. But the folks in Galax, they hosted a Ninja Warrior event that featured several famous American Ninja Warriors. Raised money for an amazing local not-for-profit that I'm going to let Kyla talk about it at some point in this for sure, because she knows way more about it than I do. But we got to do Police versus Fire Ninja Warrior. And it was the first time I got to meet Ty. And Ty, I got to tell you, that was like the best hug I've ever received in my life when I met you.
You give good hugs, don't you? Yeah.
So to remember, we have audio podcasts, video podcasts going on. Kayla, can you tell everybody listening just a little bit about Ty and just his life up to this point, I guess is a good way to go.
All right. So yeah, Tyson is my son. He's 21 years old now. He was born with Down syndrome. And as a young mom having a baby, not know anything about Down syndrome, we were kind of thrown into that one, and it has changed our lives completely. So I am a fitness instructor and nutrition coach, and Tyson kind of helps me along with that. So we've worked together to start this program, Superfit, for children and adults, anybody really with special needs in the community. So, and we'll talk more about that, but that's kind of him, and he is one crazy individual that keeps us on our toes. So I think you kind of know that he's just like, and I knew like as soon as he saw you today, the mustache will be the new thing. Like he'll have to have the mustache now.
Dude, Ty, and I remember during the pandemic, you had your mohawk because you tagged me in the post. I remember that. You had your mohawk rocking, dude.
Oh yeah, he called it the hip hop. So we we had to do that, Darren.
And I gotta think, and 21 years ago, the internet was a thing, but the resources for you being a young mom with a child with Down syndrome were probably not what they are today, correct?
Oh, absolutely not. There's such a great network now that wasn't there when Ty was born, and actually, just to be completely honest, I didn't know a lot about it at all, and was pretty scared to find out that he was going to have Down syndrome and a major heart defect when he was born. So the timing was a little crazy. We found out 2 weeks before he was born. So it wasn't like enough time to worry the whole pregnancy, but I didn't find out afterwards. So it was kind of crazy, and we have learned as we went along. So it's been a learning experience for sure.
As most parents do,
yes.
I learned a lot as I went along. I remember bringing Finn home and looking at Tracy and saying, now what do we do? And I
think, what? Yeah.
Yep. And that's the same, and I think again, as education furthers and we learn more about different special needs, we're able to just, I'm going to say learn more, which is what I just said, but that learning curve is helping so many more people, and you're able to educate so many more folks, right?
Absolutely. And there's so many, like October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, and we do so much during that month, and it really, the people the connections that you can have now, and there's just so many different ways to learn about it, and so many different groups and support groups, all kinds of things that weren't there before. And I just love being involved in that. And the community out there is just great.
And that's and I feel like this has been on every one of my episodes. So this may be the theme of the Size Up, at least for a long time. But, we hear so much negativity about social media and the internet, and it does exist for sure. Yep. But then there's the wealth of knowledge and positivity out there. And I think that's what made me fall in love with Ty and with you guys before we even met, just following on his day at the Galax Fire Department.
Yeah.
Which, see, again, we're jumping all over the place. But I'm really fortunate to meet the folks from Galax at FDIC. I couldn't even tell you what year. And I started following them, and Tyson was a cadet for the Galax Fire Department, correct?
Yes, right? He was.
And he had Ty participating in as many things as they could when it came time to being a cadet in the safest ways possible. But what they did for his birthday, was his 17th birthday?
Yep.
His 16th birthday.
Sweet 16 he had,
His sweet 16th birthday, they were able to get Tyson on the fire engine, responding to a controlled burn at the fire academy, just like he would as a cadet, one of the things he couldn't do. And I believe, Ty, you had a really good catchphrase that day. You went to the fire and the fire engine. Do you remember what it was? Yeah. What day was that?
When you said best
day ever.
Best day ever, right? That like broke the internet. That video broke the internet. Before people knew how to break the firefighting internet, I feel like.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And it was such an amazing experience, and to watch, the volunteers at Galax just circle around your family and Tyson and just everyone there. It was just the ultimate in positivity. And do you still hang out at the firehouse sometimes, Ty?
Well, yeah.
Get to see that group. He does, yeah.
Yeah, but it does.
That is awesome. That is, I got to spend yesterday at the firehouse at work, and it's still one of the best places ever. And I know just from being there with you how great it was.
Good night.
The mustache. He can't get over the mustache. We got to talk about other stuff, though.
I could turn my video off. The mustache is something. It is kind of popular.
It's distracting in it. We'll definitely have to grow one out after this. But yeah, Tyson's best day ever, and just the interaction with the fire department absolutely was just one of the most amazing experiences that we've ever had, and how they supported him, and he became a part of that. I helped the firefighters a little bit with their fitness training and did some programs for them. And so we just became super close, and just that family, they're like family. So it was really, that was very special, very special.
They are an amazing fire department is the easiest way, but they are 100% volunteer in the town of Galax. And I will, in the show notes, because I don't have it on me now, their exact Instagram handle, but we will put the Galax Fire Department Instagram handle in the show notes, because they do so much for the community. They do so many things within the community, and they go to jobs. They go to a lot of fire. Like a county-wide response almost, but I feel like every day they're going somewhere to another form of a fire, which is not something many firefighters do. But the fact that they're able to give back to the community so much, and that's kind of what led to Superfit in a way, right? Where you were kind of working with the firefighters. You have to give me the Superfit story.
Yeah. Okay. So Superfit, it's just another form of, I guess, my different. I've taught several classes over the years and things, being a fitness trainer. But when I started working with the fire department and that community aspect, and working with the firefighters on the functional fitness, and then that kind of led to a little bit of working with police officers and things, and everybody just loved Tyson so much. So he came in and did the workouts with us. And once we saw him doing the workouts and what he could do, it kind of led to bigger things. And then I guess you could say it was weighing on my heart just to include all individuals with special needs, because I feel like they're almost a community, like a forgotten group when it comes to fitness and nutrition and different things like that. I do feel like sometimes they're a little forgotten or pushed almost to the back burner on those things. And Tyson kind of showed everybody, he stepped up and kind of showed everybody, hey, look what I can do. I mean, he had doing everything anybody else tried. He did it. I mean, he absolutely stepped up and did anything we did in the workouts, or he'd put on fire gear and run through the fire department up and down the steps. I mean, he did everything with us. So I was like, you know what, we're going to take this training and we're going to let all these individuals with special needs kind of experience that. And we didn't do it necessarily in the same way we did with the firefighters, but we did a lot of the training at the firehouse, and of course they loved that. But so I guess the Superfit was born, and it became one of my most popular classes I've ever done. And that's kind of where I guess you'd say my heart lies with that now. That's my baby. So.
And it should be, because, your fitness is so important to you in your life. And
yes.
Tyson is so important to you in your life. And being able to combine those two things together just adds even more. And the fact that you want to share that with so many other people like Ty, it just makes you want to keep going more and more. Right, Ty? I know you love working out, don't you?
Yes.
Because it's so good for your soul. And I think we're even starting to understand that. I know 20 years ago when I was working out for different purposes than I'm working out now. And even with my boys in the gym with me, I'm trying to prepare them for the sports that they play, but I'm also trying to prepare them for life, to teach them these healthy habits that weren't really around 30 years ago. They were, but they weren't as accessible to everyone. So you making that accessible to this community is, are there other programs out there kind of like Superfit, like yours, that you've been able to connect with? Or
we have a little not around this area. And that's the thing. I'm finding things in bigger cities further away where it's becoming a thing. I think we're kind of up and coming in that. And I love being a part of that, because I feel like this is something that can really spread. We've gotten a lot of attention since we brought it back. And, we were a little closed down for the 2020, 2021 there. And so now we're getting back, but getting back together and working out. And I feel like it's really starting to grow. The people that are noticing this and just, again, social media, seeing it and like, how can we get involved? How can we help? How can we bring these group homes out to participate? And so just getting it out there, but definitely it's up and coming and growing. And I hope to see that. That's what I really hope comes from this. Just it's spreading and people seeing like this is something we need to do. We teach these classes for everybody in the community. So let's bring them in too and let them participate. So
it's just so awesome too, because I know, through just my own volunteer work, the Special Olympics is an organization that works with folks with Down syndrome and different special needs. And, they have the events that occur, but then there's not really that training for the events, let's say, right? Where like if you have like sons are lacrosse players, but they have winter conditioning and they have this and that. And it's just something that I think as we're learning more about fitness too, when it comes to scalable fitness, I think, again, probably when you and I started in fitness, there was one way to fitness and that was the only way to do it.
Yes.
Whereas now we've learned that like a squat is a squat is a squat, whether you have weight on your back, you're wearing a weight vest, you're doing it to a chair or a ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of what Superfit is, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, I think everybody can learn a lot from that. It's not just the special needs community. We can all look at that and say, maybe if we can't do it just the way, say, Pip can do it, we can still work and adapt and do it our way and build up. And that's a lot of what Superfit is doing. We have individuals that come in wheelchairs, and obviously they can't do the tire step ups with us, but they're tapping their toes onto the tire, or they're punching bags while we're stepping. They're doing something and just adapting, and that's been the biggest rewards, just watching things that I guess they sometimes think they can't do, and you push them just a little bit further to realize that they can do it, and it's just so rewarding and eye-opening. So
it is, and that's it, that reward of saying, I didn't think I could do this and now I am doing it. It's the same intrinsic thing you and I, again, we all get from fitness. I didn't think I could lift that, but I tried, and there'll be failures, but that's also part of life. And even for a special needs person, that is the same. They're still going to have failures. They're still going to have to overcome obstacles. They have more obstacles to overcome than all of us, but they do such a good job with it. And again, that's part of what I love following about my man Ty, is that he has obstacles and he gets over them, right?
Oh, absolutely, you do. And sometimes he likes to still working out, right? And he obviously has had a lot of health issues and the heart surgeries and stuff. But one thing about him, like the doctors will come in, he'll have his blood work done or whatever, and he's crying, but they start to leave and he says, thank you. He always like thanks them and stuff. And he carries that over into his workouts and everything. It's, he'll work, he'll sweat, he wants to stop and he'll get done and he'll be like, whew, that was a good one. Thank you. So that attitude and that 110% that they give you is just unlike any other training I believe I've ever done.
It's so awesome, man. And that Ty is my favorite part of working out too, is when I feel like you do, when I am totally drained and totally tired and full of sweat and just gross. And, but I don't really say thank you enough, because I have to thank myself. So, because usually I put myself through that. So I'm going to have to come up with a new term, but it's going to be for you, buddy, because I think that is an excellent thing. The same as thanking those doctors, right? Those doctors have been there for you your whole life to help you, get better, right? And to just keep pushing forward and more about everything that's going on. And that's a big part of it, isn't it?
Yes.
And no one likes getting blood taken. Like, no one likes needles. No one likes any of that. Me neither at all. Trust me. Well, maybe the whole tattoo thing, maybe I do like some needles, but that's a different than the doctor's needle.
You don't have one, but he wants one. He keeps asking for it, so maybe one day.
Buddy, it's a lot of needles and it hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now. It's not a fun experience, man. Grow a mustache first or another mohawk, and then
Yeah, we'll try the mustache first.
way less pain in that. You know, and when we talk about the mohawks too, you know, I think your brother had a mohawk too, didn't he, that time?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Dom had a
yeah. They
mohawk
did that
too.
together. They did the mohawks together.
Nice. And how old's Dom again?
18 now.
Ooh, 18. You have men now. I keep saying you have boys, but you have men.
Yeah, and I'd like to just think of them as kids as well, but
It's okay. They're your kids. They'll always be, right?
yes.
But, you know, Dom
Yes.
has been a humongous part of Tyson's life too. And I think when it comes to having a special needs child and a sibling, there is a lot more put on that sibling than a sibling of a non-special needs child. And you know, I've watched Dom kind of grow again on social media and the time I spent with you guys, but you know, he's such an important person in Ty's life, being there for him. That it's just, you know, that a relationship, a bond of a brother is very tight, but I think theirs is even tighter, right?
Oh, yes. And you know, it always has been. That's one thing Dom has. I just can't even describe the closeness. And you know, honestly, sometimes it's hard on a sibling to a special needs. It's hard on them because they have to there's a lot of attention given to the child needs, and there's a lot of time spent there. And so, you know, Dom as a kid did give up a lot of time and stuff for Tyson, but you know, he loved it, never complained. He's been his biggest fighter and champion for him. I mean, he's right there at Superfit. He was one of him and I kind of started that together, and he liked to hold the boxing gloves for him. That was always Dominic's job. So he's been right there helping, pushing him. I gets mad at him too sometimes, but for pushing him a little hard. But at the end of the day, they're, you know, just closest brothers. So
Hey, buddy, I get
it's a
mad at my
beautiful thing.
brother. I get mad at my big brother all the time too, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're the big brother, so you can get even more mad at your little brother because you're the big brother. So that's totally okay. And it's so great to see that.
Yeah, it's a little hard now that Dom's 6 foot and about 230 pounds. It's a little hard, isn't it, Ty?
Oh boy. Maybe you gotta run faster. That's all you gotta do, Ty. Just run faster.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. What's up, listeners? As many of you know, footwear is really important to me. Like really important. Not only for my job as a firefighter, but also for fitness and, of course, fashion. Yep, I said it. I love a new pair of kicks. I knew Hikes makes both structural boots and really awesome station boots, but they also make shoes too. And obviously, I had to try them out. Quick review, I absolutely love them. How they feel and how they look. I walked 5 miles a day in them at FDIC with no issues at all. These are my go-to station shoes with an added bonus. I can even work out in them. So do your feet a favor and check out hikesusa.com. That's HAIXUSA.com. And tell them the Size Up sent you.
True.
Oh, that's so awesome, though. And it's so good to see that because, you know, you've said the word a few times, but you truly have created a community there when it comes to the special needs program in your area. And seeing the kids just light up at what they can do. And I think that's a huge translation for everyone to pick up on that, especially when it comes to fitness. And you said it before, like, you don't have to fitness like Pip. You know, I've heard so many people tell me like, oh, I can't work out with you. I can't do what you do. That's fine. We'll figure out what it is you can do, and we'll do it together. And that's scalableness, you know, when it comes to this. And I think maybe there's a lot of parents out there with special needs kids that may be a little afraid to do that push. So for the folks that are like that, what kind of advice do you have maybe starting out with a special needs child and getting them more involved in a regular fitness routine?
You know, of course, Tyson always been around it, so it's a little different for him. We just went in for the big push with him. I mean, he's always been exposed to it, but like what I'm seeing now with the people that come for the first time, they're honestly very skittish when they come in, and that's something we handle with pulling them in. Is almost, you have to find what they love and they have to feel successful. So what we do is just anything that makes them feel like they won, like they have done something great, even if it's picking up the ball and dropping it back down. We start there. The little steps are going to lead to these bigger steps. But if they feel like they've done good and they've made you proud and they can do something just like anybody else can, then the smiles on their faces says it all. And we've not had one person come through in the Superfit program that has ever left feeling like they failed, or that they couldn't complete something, or they weren't as good as someone else when they left. It's all about making them feel successful. And kind of like in life, like we've been talking about, everybody wants to feel successful and they want to feel like they're winning. But in the special needs community, I really feel that's what it takes to get them involved, to get them interested, is just to feel like they can do something that everybody else can, and they can do it well. So even though we're adapting it and it's these small steps that they're completing, they feel like they've won. They feel like they just run the marathon when they leave there. Their faces, it's just like anything. I honestly, I wish everybody could see a Superfit class or participate in one, because I don't think you can quite grasp what the feeling of their success. And that's what it is. You just have to make them feel successful, and I think they take off from there on their own. So
and it makes them want to come back, right? It makes them want
yes.
to keep going. It makes
yes.
them want to.
After every
I can't
imagine. After every class, that's what they always ask, like, when's the next one? They just they crave it because they love that successfulness. I mean, I keep saying that, but that's just what it is. They're feeling like they have done good and they've made you proud, and they want more.
No, it's so great too, because when I was in Galax and we did the Ninja Warrior course,
yes,
you know, the folks that were the pro Ninja Warriors, which was just a whole nother level. If no one's ever done any type of a Ninja Warrior thing, I highly recommend doing it, because there's way more to it than just, oh, I'm going to go on this obstacle. I mean, I had to do that salmon ladder thing. And in practice, it was like, I got this. I got the salmon ladder. I figured it out. But then when I actually had people cheering for me and there was a race on and I had to beat the kids, and I was really tired because I did like 6 obstacles before that, my brain couldn't tell my body what to do for that salmon ladder. Like, it just was not happening. The neurons were firing. I failed at the salmon ladder. I had to do 10 burpees, but luckily I'm really good at burpees. But that time we were there, the Ninja Warriors spent a fairly large amount of time with the Superfit kids, and they got them through a lot of the obstacles in one way or another, and they got to participate. And, you know, there was one young lady there that we helped get up the salmon ladder, and I don't remember her name, but I know Ty really liked her a lot while we were there. But we assisted her in getting up the salmon ladder, and again, her overall excitement at the top of that, not salmon ladder, I'm sorry, the warp wall. We got her to do the warp wall.
The warp wall, yes.
Yep. And it was just as exciting as when I ran up that thing, because I got to the top of it and was like, I got here. And she got to the top of it and was like, that was the best ever.
Yeah, that moment. Yeah, I'll never forget that. She is actually the leader of our local Special Olympics. It's her daughter. Okay. And when she got to the top of that, she still talks about that to this day. And that moment of getting to the top of that warp wall, and just, I remember her hands in the air and everybody screaming. And it's just those moments that I kind of think we take for granted sometimes, because there's a lot of things we can do that we don't think about, maybe just impossible that other people think are impossible. And everybody rallying together and helping her to finish that course that was just the highlight of my weekend, I think.
Again, and it's so crazy how long ago it was, and now that I'm talking to you, more of it is coming back into my mind. Just getting to participate was, it's something you have to do, and when I was younger, I did volunteer once or twice with the local Special Olympics to help, and it was such a great day. And then you kind of move on with your life, and you go on to the next thing that you're doing. So it's one of those things that I'm like, yep, I have to get back involved around here. But as Superfit grows, maybe we can start the New Jersey chapter. I can help you out with that, because I think, that
would be amazing. Yeah,
growing Superfit.
That would be amazing. We'll take Superfit nationwide. That sounds like that's a goal for sure. But the volunteers, honestly, for Superfit are so important. Kind of like we were talking about, everybody helping. It does take so many volunteers. It's because you want that one-on-one interaction, and there's, each individual person there needs help. Like our last Superfit class, we had 23 individuals there, 3 in wheelchairs. So we probably had as many volunteers as we did athletes come. So it really, I always say it takes a village, but we're surrounded by a great one, so it helps. But I think that it touches the people who are helping the volunteers just as much as the ones participating. I can't even tell you how many people have just said, this changed my life, or this, I went from not even wanting to get out of bed today, I was going to call you and tell you I couldn't help because it was just one of those days and I was down, to feeling on top of the world when you get done. You just can't help but smile and be happy when you're around these guys and seeing how happy they are and how they're working. And so I just think this is a great thing, and I truly do hope this grows, and that people, everybody can kind of experience that a little bit, at least once in their life, just helping out with something like this.
Oh no, your passion for it is what's going to grow it. That's for sure, because you are beyond passionate about this. And
I think it's definitely my heart is in it. And like I said, I've done, been a trainer for years, and I love training. You understand that, because it's a passion. You have to have a passion for training, and I love my clients, I love my classes, I love the fire department, helping all these people. But there is definitely something when you work with the special needs community that just, it's unlike anything else.
Ty, let the folks listen. And how awesome is Mom, Tyson? Is Mom the best?
Way awesome.
Way awesome?
Way awesome. Me.
Broke up a little bit there. Wi-Fi. Go ahead, buddy. How's Mom? Is Mom the best and most awesome person ever?
Oh yeah, ever with Mama, everything.
It's Mom, he's everything. That's a good thing, right?
So one of the things, Ty, that I know you did, aside from going to Superfit classes, though, because fitness and working out, that's a big part of staying healthy. But I know there's another part of staying healthy that you adopted in your life, and that was eating healthy, right? Do you eat healthy?
Yes.
As most of you can, right? Sometimes I was there for a cheat meal when I was there. We went out for a cheat meal, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still has those cheat meals, but
got popcorn.
Yeah, he cheats with some popcorn sometimes, or pizza, right? But
yeah.
Got those every now and then.
They're good cheat meals. But, Kayla, I remember you telling me, Kyla, oh my God, I said Kayla with an A. I can't do that. It's Kyla. I have to stop.
Hey, it's okay. I answer to
I remember you telling me about that, and about just how a lot of times special needs children aren't fed the healthiest or aren't eating the healthiest of foods. And I'm stumbling over my words. So do you want to spend a little time just on that and how Tyson, changed? He was the one that made the change after a doctor's appointment, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll try to keep this story a little short, but what really started us on the nutrition, which he's always around us eating decent foods, but Tyson was in a car accident. He was in he and his grandpa were in a car accident. They got hit head on, and he had a face surgery and a broken hand, and there was a lot of things. He really couldn't work out afterwards. He didn't eat that well because I'm going to blame my mom and other people for it, but it was people would just bring snacks all the time as he was recovering. And honestly, Tyson, he put on quite a bit of weight during that time. He couldn't work out, wasn't eating the best. So a few months after, we went to the doctor, and his reflux had just gotten out of control. And the doctor said, we really need to do this major surgery on his stomach. And Tyson was in the room listening. And he told him, he was pretty honest about what was going to happen and that there were some consequences to this surgery. I mean, things that could go wrong. And Tyson listened. He didn't say one word while we were in the doctor's appointment. And then we got in the car, and I was a little teary, and he grabbed my shoulder, and he said, "It's okay, Mama." And he said, "Let's lose weight." And he said, I'll lose weight. He just kept saying that. And I said, "Tyson, if we tried that, you would really have to push for me. Like, I'm going to need you to eat healthy with me every meal, and we're going to work out. We're going to really try to get this weight off of you." And he said, "I'm in, Mama." And so it was his idea. I called the doctor back and I said, we're going to wait on this surgery. Can I have 3 to 6 months to try with him and with diet and exercise? Just try and see what happens. See if we can get this reflux better and this weight off. And so the doctor agreed, and we went into it hardcore. And Tyson just pushed. He ate like he was supposed to. He did just wonderful. We went back to the doctor. He lost 28 pounds. The doctor went in and did his and said, he looks totally different. His esophagus had filled up, and he's amazed. He actually asked me, what I was doing, and asked me to talk a little bit with him about the stuff we've been doing. So I was just thrilled. And after that, I thought, well, we have to take this nutrition and we have to really push this to other individuals. So we incorporated that into the Superfit program we've started, and they love hearing about the nutrition part of it. Like, I speak at the end of the class, 5 minutes maybe while we're stretching, but I give them some goals, like drink more water. The sugary sweets we're going to replace with other things. And we just talk about that. The next class they come back in, and the first thing they want to do is say, "Kyla, guess what I ate this week?" And I'm bringing water instead of my giant sweet tea that I had with me last time, and things like that. So they're listening and they're paying attention. And I don't feel like a lot of individuals, especially, get that a lot. Like, they don't get those speeches on how we should eat and stuff. And it has made a huge difference adding that into the Superfit, and they are eating it up, literally. I mean, they're interested in it. So it's just those little things. We need to get that stuff out there more, and we need to help these individuals instead of, I do think a lot of times it's easier, I guess, because people think they're not going to understand these things. So it's kind of easier to just let it go, or let them eat what they want and things like that. And we've got to get away from that. We've got to understand we are responsible. It's our job to help them be as healthy and successful as they can be. And we've got to do better at that.
It's everything you're saying is being a parent. right? It's what
Yes,
I tell
it
my
is.
boys, right?
Yeah.
It's being a parent. And when you have a
Yes.
child with special needs, like you just said, it's very easy to overlook some of these things. Like, sure, have some more candy or have
Yes.
a sweet tea over drinking water. But once they start to
Yes.
learn the importance of it, just like as we do, we learn the importance of it, it becomes just as important to them. And I know for Ty, like that healthy lifestyle of healthy eating and working out and doing his super fit classes, that's life these days, right, buddy?
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Yeah.
Do it again, right? And then Ty, did
Do it again. Eight more.
I didn't get that one. Can you
It
hit
definitely is. And like you said, we need to.
Oh, I lost it. There you go. Now you're back.
Okay, now I don't know what happened there, but yeah, honestly, being parents, it is a lot like being a parent, but there are a lot of times that these special needs individuals are in group homes and things like that where they're not getting that parent, that one-on-one, and that's the people we also need to reach out to because they don't get the same experiences. And so that's one thing through Superfit program that I've seen, and it has been amazing. Some of these group homes will bring 5 and 6 of their people at a time, and they're getting to do and learn things they're not getting on a daily basis. So that's touching too, to see, and having sometimes their caregivers tell us, they won't do that for me, or I'm not seeing them move this much in a year. So it's just such a wonderful thing. And I just feel like it really is an important program, an important thing to get out there. So.
And that's great too for the kids, for the group homes. And that was something I hadn't even thought of, that you're bringing them in. Mm-hmm. And for them, that's a whole new experience too, that they're out, able to participate in a program like this that hasn't been offered to them ever, I guess. Right.
Yeah. No, it definitely is wonderful. And that's where we're really growing right now is and then people seeing these groups coming, and I want my group to come, and it's just, I just can't even explain how wonderful it's been, and watching, because they need that. They need it just as much, if not more, than other people. And they're a little neglected sometimes. Honestly, that entire community is a little neglected. So it's really helpful, I think.
It's just so great to be able to watch you grow and now hear this, because I didn't even know that part of it, that you're able to just expand to a whole new community within your community. But Ty, as we're getting close to wrapping up here, buddy, because I could see, you're getting tired of looking at my mustache. You want to work on growing yours. But I did see on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're like this.
Oh, he's raised to his chest, apparently.
Nice. Oh, because I flexed. I just had to lift my head over the microphone. Now you're going to flex on me. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Hey, buddy, I got one last question here. Did I see just recently, did you run a Spartan race?
Yes.
You did? Was it muddy?
Yeah.
Oh. Tell him about it.
I'm upset that's out there and it's mud.
He was upset because he had to literally swim in the mud.
I poop.
So he thought it was like
poop. Mom wasn't making you run through poop. That was just regular mud. Those races are so dirty, buddy. I think that was the thing I hated the most about it, was just being dirty the whole time I ran one. Was it fun, though?
Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It was in a cow field, so that could have been poop. I'm not sure.
Just a little bit of
he did. He ran this. Yeah, never hurt anybody, but he did a Spartan race. He's run a Savage race. And again, just like with Superfit, I go with him, and help him over these obstacles, but he's doing it. He's pushing, and the crowd gathers around. Let me tell you, they love to root for Ty running these races. So that's been something special too.
I'll do it again. Anytime.
Can do it again.
Anytime. Well, I got to come down. Maybe I'll get down there in the next year or so. We'll come down and I'll run one with you. Does that sound like a deal?
Deal.
All right, but there's no cow poop. You have to tell them before I get there. I'm from New Jersey. We don't deal with cow poop, okay? Awesome. Well, Kyla, do you have anything else you'd like to add here as we're wrapping up that we missed?
Honestly, I think we've kind of talked about a lot of today, but just kind of what I've said, fitness so important, like, in general to everybody, but this community that we don't always take as much time to. Let's all just do our best to include them. If you can volunteer with your local Special Olympics, get out and do it. Let's shoot, get in touch with me. We'll bring Superfit wherever it needs to go, because I'm just over the top passionate about it, and I think it's going to be an amazing thing. So for anybody, but if you can get out and help this community, just do it. It'll change you completely.
That message that you have is it's just going to ring true, and it rings true with the Size Up podcast, that we're just trying to bring more positive people into the light. So can you tell all listeners, where can they find you on social media?
Okay, awesome. So on Instagram, we do have a We Are Superfit Instagram. And then my personal Instagram, Kyla Ford, and Facebook, Kyla Ford, is tons of pictures of Superfit. And when you see the pictures, you'll see the smiles, and you'll definitely see what we're talking about here. It's something to look at, and definitely get out and help if you can.
Oh, that is so awesome. All that info too will, as always, be in the show notes. So I want to thank Kyla, which is Kayla without an A, and my man Tyson for joining me today on the Size Up episode 17. We Are Superfit. I don't know if it's going to be called We Are Superfit, or it may be a little cow poop never hurt, because I like that.
Yeah, I kind of like that one too, right?
I think we should go with a little cow poop never hurt, as per mom. But I want to thank you guys for the time this afternoon. I want to thank all the listeners out there. I want to thank our episode sponsors, Defend. That's DFND. If you head over to their website, you can use the code THESIZEUP, all in capital letters, to save yourself 20% off. Also, Hikes USA for keeping us safe and the great footwear that they make. Oh man, I kind of lost where I was going with that. It was my whole made up intro, extra, whatever you want to call this thing at the end of the podcast. I'm such an amateur at this. But anyway, this has been Pip for the Size Up by National Fire Radio. We'll catch you next time. That was great, guys. Ty, that was awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
See, I shouldn't have stopped. I should have caught that. See, I should have.
Yeah, he was totally like.
I got it.
Yeah, he was so quiet. I thought I was gonna have to be like, shh, but no.
National Fire Radio.